go make money.
What's up, everybody? Episode 16 coming back at you.
That means football's almost over.
I know. We got a lot of playoff time coming up, too. Got some college playoffs coming up soon, too. So there's a lot of fun and exciting things going on, especially our teams are still fighting for the playoffs.
Yeah, one more than the other, but that's okay.
You're not guaranteed in yet. Just saying.
Not even close, but that's okay.
So how we always started off, weekend at Bernie's. You know, Christmas time, Bernie. Look at this guy. So this is at the Aria. Aria has a couple different entrances. So this is at like one of the entrances that's closest to us.
Yeah.
They put some little Christmas trees up or holiday trees. So
Yeah, they very clearly went blue, silver, and white. They did not go red and green anywhere, but still pretty.
Yeah, it's nice. Non-denominational, I guess. Although, wait a minute. There's a manger when you first walk in, isn't there? I don't know. It looked like it might have been.
I don't know. A manger is a lot. You're really hitting home the religious card on that one. I don't know about that.
So Bernie had himself a good time. You know, he's walking through casinos. He's doing his thing, getting a lay of the land, you know. So he did good. All right. Next up, you got Vegas. This is a quick one, and it's pretty much like a common one.
It's common.
So,
if you've been to Old Vegas, you know that this is not new.
Old Vegas, Fremont Street, outside of Four Queens Casino, partially naked, unruly man. Seems like it's par for the course.
Probably homeless, on drugs, you know.
We're leaning
over there.
We're hoping it wasn't a homeless druggie. We're hoping it was just somebody who got wasted in Vegas, and because the article quotes that the man with his pants down doing all sorts of crazy things. So it screams drugs, but let's assume it was a tourist. They had a few cocktails. They're spending $12 a night at the Four Queens.
I mean, we hang out with some
off.
pretty big alcoholics, and none of them ever took their pants off and just did some weird stuff in the middle of
Not
the
yet.
casino.
Not until we take them to Four Queens.
Well, maybe Four Queens does that for people. We've never actually been there.
So if you're one of our friends, we take you to Fremont, we make you stay at the Four Queens Hotel for $12 a night, and you take your pants off, then that's going to be the point at which you got Vegas.
You got Vegas.
All right. Next up, let's face it. So this is our segment where we talk about people in the news. Generally, a lot of it's football related during football season. Because let's be honest, you put on ESPN right now, I don't care what other sport is on, they're talking about football 90% of the time, right? And so are we.
We love football.
We love football.
We love sports, but we love football just a little bit more than all the other sports.
Probably 10 times as much. But
try to be even and fair here.
I mean, how about badminton? Women's badminton?
Okay, no offense, but I'm not talking about any women's sports. I'm specifically. I'm one of those. Sorry, ladies.
That's right. All right. Well,
moving on.
Moving on in negative news.
Yes. All right.
Top left, Mike Leach, Mississippi State head coach, 60 years old, heart attack, went to the hospital, died shortly after. So it's pretty sad. If anybody's following college football, this guy was a character. He was always in his post-game press conferences, pre-game stuff. Just his little gems of wisdom were very entertaining. And it also sucks. Just reading about this, within days of his death, you got Georgia Bulldogs coaches and stuff trying to go poach the recruits that were supposed to be going to Mississippi State.
The Georgia Bulldogs, though, they're like on top of the world. Who do they need recruited?
SEC.
I'd be offended as they're on their team. Like, we are crushing it. We don't need to bring anybody else on. That's offensive.
Just goes to show you how competitive this stuff is, right? I mean, it's pretty insane that they're going to go, hey, this is our opportunity now? Terrible. So, R.I.P. Mike Leach. You lived a short one, but a good one in the football world.
Hopefully they'll be saying that about us.
Yeah.
Definitely going to go with the short one part.
All right. How about your boy?
Cole Beasley. Well, we thought he retired, but, you can't stay away from the game, as we've seen multiple times.
No, yeah. He was
this year only.
Didn't he sign somewhere this year before, like Cowboys or something?
He did. He signed to their practice squad, and he, did one thing and then left and said, I'm retiring. It was a decision for his family, he said.
Yeah, that's weird.
I need to make... But I have a feeling he just clearly didn't just like it there. I mean, he did come from Cowboys, so I'm not sure what he didn't like. But anyways, Cole Beasley has been recently signed to the Buffalo Bills practice squad with the intention, most likely, of moving him up, I assume, for this weekend off the practice squad. Welcome back, Cole Beasley. I was a big fan. Yeah, he quieted down once he broke his leg, I believe it was, while he was playing, and he kept playing on it. So we were all a big fan, but obviously he couldn't make it that much longer after hurting himself.
Yeah, he was a big part of the Buffalo offense before some of those other guys started to break out, where it was Gabe Davis, you had McKenzie and stuff, and all of a sudden he kind of got pushed out a little bit.
McKenzie kind of pushed him out, to be honest with you. McKenzie was just a punt returner, and then all of a sudden he's taking over for Cole.
But Cole Beasley's like that safe set of hands on third down, and look, I watched him a lot through his career, especially at the Bills, having to watch the Bills every week.
Oh, shut up.
And he's should be a good addition, right? To get out there, especially if you're going for multiple receiver sets. So he's back.
Welcome back, Cole Beasley. I like how he's my person to talk about, and you took half of the time. So Go ahead, let's move on to your next person.
I see these gorgeous locks that he has and that facial hair, and I have to talk about him.
Well, that's because he doesn't have his smile with his missing front tooth.
True.
Kind of takes away from the whole look.
Next person, Mike White, is the opposite. No facial hair. No gorgeous locks. He's keeping it high and tight like he's in the military. And last week he got murdered. Just bent over 3 times, hitting his chest, hitting the ribs, and went down. But I tell you, man, the guy's a resilient guy. He said he went back to the locker room. They x-rayed him up, did what they had to do. He said as long as there was nothing on there to show he had broken stuff, he said you'd have to peel me off the turf. He knew he was going back out there. So shout out to Mike White, being a tough guy. You've played pretty well. Too bad when you were out for a couple series. Joe Flacco fumbles immediately, and then Michael Carter fumbles later on. The 2 turnovers come. So anyway, I don't have a rant this week because we lost. So I'll move on.
Move on. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Baker Mayfield, to everyone's dismay. I mean, if you didn't watch it,
wow,
it's hard to believe. If you didn't watch the game, it was hard to believe while we were watching the game. He came out, he had flown in maybe 24 hours prior to the game starting because he was just signed 2 days prior to the first game starting on Thursday, Monday Night Football, right? Yes, Monday Night Football.
No, it was Thursday.
It was Thursday.
Yeah, he got signed late Monday on a plane on Tuesday, and then on Thursday he played.
Thursday. We didn't think he was going to play at all. We're like, there's no way. Right on the field, and he crushed it. Absolutely crushed it, demolished everybody, and just... I don't know. Props to Baker Mayfield. I mean, we lost our bet because we were also like, oh, who's going to do it? You're definitely not putting Baker Mayfield in there. And if you are, he's not going to know what the hell to do. So probably going to be the 3rd string quarterback. And we lost our money. But you know what? Rightfully so. It was very fun to watch Baker crush it after such a crazy introduction to SoFi Field. So good job.
And the one thing is that we said lost a bet. We said last week it was -6, and then it moved to -6.5, and we still took the Raiders -6.5. Mm-hmm. So by the time that drive went off, we knew that basically we lost it because if the Rams went down and scored, or they didn't score, it was only going to be a 6-point thing, so we would have lost. So we said, you know what? Good. Let Baker go down and drive down because we already lost the bet. And sure enough, 98-yard drive with 2 minutes left. So good for him. All right, Marcus Mariota. So... I mean, the Falcons haven't been doing that bad. I forget what they have, 5 wins or so. I think they still statistically could be in the playoffs. And coach decided that they're going to give the young guy a shot, Desmond Ridder. So they made this decision, and Mariota had been dealing with a little bit of a knee issue. And I guess as soon as they told him, look, we're going to go with the young gun for now, he said, okay, fine. I'm going to go get my knee cleaned up and get the surgery on my knee so I'm healthy for next year or whatever. So they put him on injury reserve. So that means he's out for whatever, at least 4 weeks or whatever it is. So I'm sure that means the season's done for him. And then not only is it done for him, he hasn't been showing up to the facilities and stuff. So you got a veteran guy who could clearly help out your young guy. I was looking at his contract. He does have another year on his contract. It's almost like he's saying, fuck it, I'm done with the Falcons. I'm not going to be here anymore. So definitely something to pay attention to going forward. A little off-season
little drama. Drama going on.
Save the drama for your baby mama.
And then we've got Kyler Murray. Cardinals are just garbage. I mean, they were struggling, but this poor guy, he finally came back. I mean, he hadn't been playing that long since his last injury, and not even in the first play, he gets demolished and has already has a crazy injury that he's out for, I think it's the entire season.
Yeah, torn ACL. So they're saying that if you give him 10 months, he still won't be back for the beginning of next season.
Yeah, it's like October is like the earliest he'll come back for next season.
Tough one.
I mean, listen, his team isn't really gelling with him to begin with. So, but if you watch that game, they were falling. Players were falling all over. First it was Kyler, but then it was one after the other, just tumbling. So that the Cardinals is beat up. I mean, statistically, also where they stand versus other teams, but physically, literally beat up. So
they were talking about it.
He talks so much.
Tore his ACL, and they said like it was on grass. And normally you think about, everybody's complaining. They tear their ACL, it's on a turf field or whatever it is. And I just heard Roger Goodell, because they had an NFL meeting before, and he was asked about that. He said, are you going to build some consistency with the turf fields and stuff? He said, actually, if you look at it, the injuries are even between grass and turf. But he said on turf there are more ACL tears, but on grass there's way more ankle injuries and stuff. So he said that they have to balance like what injury they're willing to be good with. Like you're kind of fucked either way. Is what
Seems like your feet get stuck on turf more, so that's what the snap is about. Whereas like on grass, it's just uneven, so you'll get out of it quick. Where you're not going to snap something, but you'll roll, break,
Yeah. I wonder if they're going to figure this shit out. Like, you think in 50 years they're going to, like, here's the perfect surface, we got it? Like,
in 50 years, absolutely.
Yeah.
And we still won't have flying cars in 50 years, but they'll figure that out.
Right. No more. The Jetsons said it was going to happen in fucking, I don't know when the Jetsons was supposed to be, but pretty sure it was now.
For those of you that know, I was a teacher and used to do all the science fiction things. I won't even get into it because people in the 1950s thought we were going to be way further than we were.
Yeah. Well, so much for, artificial intelligence, this and that. Next, we have one car with a bunch of different cameras on it, and it's hitting things. So come on, guys, get your shit together. Elon Musk, I'm calling you out. Get your shit together. We're all
dumb. That's all it is. We're all dumb.
We're all dumb. All right.
And speaking of dumb.
How did we do last week? How did we do? It wasn't that bad. It was just like a mishmash, whatever, half and half type of week.
I just got to clarify, though. I am holding this household together with wins.
I know.
I bet less than he does.
She should bet more.
Right, I should bet more. I just still don't have the confidence yet to bet more. But if I did bet like him, I mean, this retired life, we'd be going to the club just throwing dollars. But he's spending large amounts of money, and
her hit rate was a lot higher than mine. So look, at the end of the day, we didn't lose money for the weekend. So that's not a bad thing. We didn't bet a lot either. So normally we'd probably bet almost 2 to 3 times as much as we did. So whatever. Even if that means we would be up half a unit. It's really no money, so who cares? We had a couple good ones, a couple bad ones, but you can't celebrate when you're 50%. So let's not talk about them.
Well,
you talk about the good ones that you had.
Well, I don't actually. I mean, the Bengals, that was impressive.
Sure.
Chargers. Listen, we took the Chargers. I took the Chargers because fuck the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Sorry, Fins fans. But, yep, that was a fun one. Not only did they kill my opponent, but they won me money, so that I liked. And the Lions were actually surprising, which I knew all along they would be. But they really did surprise the whole world. And what was awesome is, and I heard this in other places, we went to Circa to watch the games. Because, guys, it's been months now. Like, we're running out of new places to go. We've hit up a bunch. And this weekend, for whatever reason, we were trying to, everything wanted reservations, and they were full. So
rodeo week.
Well, it came to an end, so hopefully now it'll quiet down, especially, we won't be back out here watching games until way after the holidays. But, so we went to Circa because it's just, kind of standing room only, and so that was easy. We stood right at the bar, so our drinks came to us as quickly as we needed them. But they had the sound on the Lions-Vikings game, which we know the owner is a big Lions fan, so we assumed he was and he had a bunch of his friends around, and there's nothing more than being like, hey guys, so not only do I own a giant casino, but we're going to listen to the game I want to listen to, which is the Lions-Vikings game, and these thousands of people, they're also going to listen to the Lions-Vikings game. But I liked it because I was winning money the entire time. And I also won money on the Eagles, and I have to apologize to my friend Monkey because the whole time I thought I didn't put this bet through. But I did. But I don't think he'd be too mad because it wasn't even a close game. It was just they got demolished. So I made a few bucks on each.
48-22.
Yeah.
Well, look, when you talk about the sound being on, because the owner of the casino is a Lions fan, if the Bills were 0-15 and you own the casino, it would be
We'd
Bills
be listening
sound.
to the Bills.
So
We would be listening.
you got to
to this.
respect it.
Oh no! We had that conversation because we were all like, "Why are we listening to this?" And then we found out, and we're like, "I would do the same thing, absolutely."
Good for him.
Moving on. Sorry,
Yeah.
That's a lot.
All right, week 14 takeaways. So look, we talked about Baker Mayfield, that long drive and stuff. Raiders, another game where you have a lead in the fourth quarter and you lost it. I'm pretty sure it's like 5+ for the season. You're in all these games, and Josh McDaniels is the head coach. For some reason, he's just playing super conservative. Like, oh, I'm up 16-3. I might as well lock it in. It's like, dude, you're up 2 scores. Like, you got to put the foot on the gas. You got some good guys there. Devontae Adams, throw the guy the ball 15 times. So you're trash.
Well, relax, because some of us are all about the Raiders this coming week. But I'll explain why.
They're the best team with a shitty record. That's and then the Lions probably too. But
everybody, this whole year is weird.
Yeah, Texans almost beat the Cowboys.
Yeah, that's shocking. But again, the Cowboys we can't figure out. They could be really high or they could be really, really low. And if you just beat the Texans, which as a Bills fan, I understand this concept. Like, there are a lot of teams that we just beat, like the Jets. Now, the weather played a role in that, but, we should not have just beat the Jets, or we should not have just beat, the Lions. We should have cremated some of these teams, and we didn't. But Texans,
that was shocking.
That's shocking. So, good job, Texans.
But, look, Cowboys, you play like shit, at least you got the win, right?
Well, let's not be too nasty.
No, I mean, so you're gonna play like shit some weeks, but if you can, the great teams that have the great records, they're the ones that get the W even when they play like shit, right? A team like the Jets, when they play like shit, they're gonna lose because they're not that, they're not dominant like that. The Bills.
Listen, I'm gonna see Rick this holiday, coming up soon. So I'm being nice. The Cowboys are a really good team.
I mean, they are still, tops of the league.
They are not shit. He whatever he said, that's his fault.
So when you play like shit, any given Sunday. Speaking of which, Jaguars. Right? Like, these guys are, who knows what team you're going to get.
They're another one. Yeah, you're going to get the shit Jaguars. You're going to get the really good Jaguars.
You got the good ones this week because they beat the Titans pretty handily, and Trevor Lawrence looked like he was freaking legit.
I'll give them that, but the Titans are also crap. Thank God. I'm so tired of hearing about I was so tired of hearing of Derrick Henry last season. This season, I got my wish, and we just shut up about the man. We don't even know he exists anymore. They panned to him during the game. I was like, oh, right, I forgot he still plays. And I like that feeling. Let's keep it that way. So, Titans continue to suck.
Well, I will say this in his defense. Derrick Henry had 17 rushes for 121 yards and 7 yards a carry last week. I just feel like they should give it to him twice as many times. I don't know what they're doing. Nothing else worked for them, I guess. I don't know. Or maybe it was in the fourth quarter.
Like not hearing about him.
All right. Yeah, I like it too. Oh, man.
The Niners destroy the Bucks.
Yeah,
And, listen, we complained about the Bucks last week because we put our money on the Bucks and they couldn't freaking cover. They won by a damn point because that's what Tom Brady does. So good job, Niners, destroying the Bucks. Very happy that you did that.
At 28 points in the first half, and I had bet the under in that game because I'm like, okay, the Bucks aren't going to score. I did not think behind Brock Purdy that the Niners were going to score that many freaking points.
Should have bet the under in the Jets-Bills game.
And it was
nothing happened there.
The second half was such a dud anyway for that game that the end total was 42 because it was 35-7. So it almost hit the under, right? But it was just because the Niners had too many points in the first half. So
whatever. Good job, Niners. Always impressing me.
Yeah, they really are.
Chargers. I love you. You got to win against the Dolphins. So now the Dolphins lost twice.
That actually helps me a lot, too.
We don't care about you. Let's go, everybody.
Well, why do you care then about the Dolphins? You're going to win the division.
Right, but now more so
than
before. Okay? And do you play the Dolphins this Saturday?
No.
This Saturday? No. So hush up.
Okay.
Hush up. This is my turn to speak.
All right.
Thank you, Chargers.
Your turn will be in 30
No.
seconds.
On this little list, you can't do all the slides yourself. This is
Yeah.
not how this works. My turn. I'm jumping in on this one. I'm happy that the Chargers beat the Dolphins. Thank you to my two favorite teams who have just killed the Dolphins for me and finally made me feel happy for a little while. Thank you.
Patriots, you got lucky. Kyler Murray went down in the third play, and you had unprepared Colt McCoy, and the Cardinals were just dropping like flies out there. Yeah. But now they actually did look decent, the Patriots. But I don't know because the Cardinals suck. So
did they look decent, or was it just that the Cardinals were awful and dropping like flies, as you said?
It was like Mac Jones was actually pretty solid,
No, Mac Jones. I think Mac Jones is a good quarterback. Yeah. But he's got some shitty coaches telling him what to do, and I don't know. I love this. Belichick is not the Belichick that I've had to deal with for my entire childhood and most of my adulthood. So this is great to see them struggle.
And it was like the week before he Mac Jones yelled at Matt Patricia.
Yeah.
And then this week again, he got some play call on the sideline from Patricia. And he's talking to him, whatever. And then he's walking away and Patricia keeps talking. And Mac Jones goes like this, like, shut the fuck up.
And he had apologized for yelling at Patricia that first time. So he was you can only imagine how angry you are when you're like, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have reacted. You had to make that statement to the public. And then you do it again the next week because you just can't stand. That's why, Mac Jones, I'm sure you're fantastic. Hopefully you can get the fuck off the Patriots, or they can get rid of Matt Patricia, which I have a feeling they're not going to do. They're going to keep this crappy coach forever. But do you, boy, because I think you are good. The Jets might be looking for a new quarterback.
No, we're not. We're good. Anyway.
Broken ribs and all.
I'm not dancing this time.
Oh, it fell.
I'm not dancing.
But you are going to hold my flag for 1 second.
This is what happened.
Hey.
I have to hold this.
You put the sunglasses on. Okay, I got my sunglasses. It's my turn. My turn. Woo! Bills Mafia in the house. Woo!
This is what I get, guys. I run my mouth, even though she runs it a lot more, and that's what I have to do.
Do not run my mouth.
All right, well, it's time to run your mouth right now. Yes. Christine's time to rant.
Time to rant. Okay. So, as we all know, Bills won against the Jets, 20-12. Listen, I am so happy that we won. I would have been a miserable human being. I think the entire Vegas district is happy that I won because it would have been a bad day. However, not that great of a win, okay? It was, I guess, the weather. It did look like, your typical Buffalo crappy weather. Buffalo, I miss you, but I don't miss living there during the winter months. It was that nice mix of rain and snow and ice, so it was perfect for throwing a slippery football. So not an exciting game, but as long as you win in that weather, you're good. Knox flipping into the end zone was one of our entertaining plays. But like I said before, I do want to shout out Mike White. Man, he got slammed by Oliver and Milano, which, good job, boys. I mean, I feel bad it's Mike White because he seems very nice. Maybe we could do that to, Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes, somebody a little older that's been around for a while. But he gets so many hits, and he keeps going. I kept saying to him, because he's saying, I talked all kinds of shit. I didn't say anything, except I'm impressed by Mike White, and, the fact that he kept going out and playing. Good for him. Good for you, Mike White. But thank you, Bills, for getting out that win. Bills, let's go. So now, up next is Dolphins in Buffalo, which is huge because apparently the Dolphins played the Rams last weekend. Not the Rams, the Chargers. And they played in 50-degree weather, and they needed hand warmers and heaters on the sideline. It was 50 degrees. And they're going to come to Buffalo. We're supposed to get 7 inches of snow. It's going to be 32 degrees. I don't know what they're going to do. Hopefully just lose tremendously. Very excited. We lost by this much to them in 99-degree humid weather where they stick their opponents in the baking sun as they sit in the shade, which I think is cheating. So, good. Bring it on. Bring on that lake effect snow. Fun fact, Bills are 9-0 and Jordan Poyer's on the field. And he missed a couple important games that we did not do well in, but he's been back ever since, and he should be playing this Saturday. I do need to complain to the NFL, though. You changed the schedule after We booked our flights to go to New York. So now, while the Bills are playing the Dolphins in this very important game that I would like to watch every minute of, I'm going to be sitting on a plane from Vegas to New York, which is like the longest flight you could take, and praying that I could get service to watch this game the entire time. And I have to keep my mouth shut because you're going to be on a quiet plane full of people who are probably hungover as hell trying to get their sleep because they were out the whole week in Vegas. So I'm not happy about this. I need the Bills Mafia to show up strong for me. I'm going to watch as much as I can, but a little upset about this situation. Stop changing games. Just leave it as it is, or at least keep it on the same damn day. Let's go, Bills. Squish the fish. Ah! That's it. Thank you.
I'm going to throw in one thing.
It's my time to rant.
It's already done. You said you're done.
Keep interrupting me.
I was going to say they said that for the week against the Dolphins, they were going to say get ready for some frozen fish. So I'm just.
At least you put something positive in.
Yes.
Okay, frozen fish.
Frozen fish.
Woo, I like it. Let's go, Bills.
All right, now let's get into the games. We'll roll through these pretty quickly. 49ers versus the Seattle Seahawks at Seattle. Division game. Both teams need this stuff for the playoffs.
Can I explain my thinking? Because
go for it, yeah.
You know, I have been a big fan of the Seahawks. I've also been the fan waiting to see Geno Smith like fail miserably, and it hasn't happened. And I don't think this is the game where he's going to fail miserably. But the Niners, even with Mr. Irrelevant playing, he's been doing phenomenal. They're going to just crush this spread, I think, against the Seahawks while the Seahawks are at home. And if you look at the stats, Brock Purdy, he already has 130-plus passer rating and more than one touchdown in his start. And he's played some hard teams. So I think this is going to be easy for him. -3.5. Niners are going to take that all day. So let's go Niners.
Yep. Like Shanahan was on TV being interviewed, and he was just like, obviously it's a tough place to play just because it's so loud.
Yes.
So they got to get past that shit. But I just think that the Niners are too loaded. You know, I mean, once they signed McCaffrey, I'm like, these guys are just going to... And then when Garoppolo went down, I said, oh, no more. But the fact that Purdy comes in 1.5 games here and just looks really solid. His dad was crying in the stands.
I know, that
watching
was
him.
cute.
It was cute.
That was cute.
Cute. Daddy Purdy, look at you.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. Go Niners, though.
Yeah, Niners going to pull this one out. Let's go.
Putting our money on this one.
Next up,
Cowboys.
Indianapolis. No, Indianapolis Colts.
I don't know why I thought
I don't
Cowboys.
know. Cowboys versus the Vikings. Next up, here we go. It's in Minnesota. You know, the Colts are coming off a bye week, if that matters for anything. But they're turning the ball over a lot. They have the worst turnover margin in the whole league. So that's going to hurt them. And the Vikings just finding ways to win, right? I mean, you're leaning there just because it's a 4-point spread, more than a field goal, but, you know.
I mean, I'm surprised that the spread is only -4, but it is true. They just pull out these little tiny wins. Yeah. So I think against the Colts, they'll cover the 4 points. But, you know, you put somebody else in there, they're going to not cover. Like, they win by 2 points, 3 points. Somehow they find a way to, like, make it by the tiniest win. So,
fun fact, Justin Jefferson, I mean, the guy's crushing it this year. If you extrapolate his results, he's on pace to basically have right on the border of the record for receiving yards in a year. Calvin Johnson's record, he's on pace for 3 yards shy of it. So if he has a couple good games here, he could actually end up having the most receiving yards of any receiver in the whole league history. So that's interesting.
Good for him.
Yeah, good for him. So anyway, I'm leaning on the under here. I think 48.5 points is a little bit too much for me because I don't really know how many points the Colts are going to score there.
But we're poor and we can't afford 10
They
bets.
can't bet everything. We're betting 8 games apiece this week. So we are betting a lot. So this is
Speaking of which, I'm taking the Ravens.
Yeah, Ravens versus the Browns. You're taking the Ravens.
Cutting you off because you just...
Do it.
Yes, I'm taking the Ravens. Now, this one comes with a little asterisk next to it. Lamar is still out. We don't expect him to come back. Of course, people are saying maybe he'll come back, but you know, his injury, I don't believe so. But the question is it Huntley or Anthony Brown? Huntley got a little battered last game, so he has to go through concussion protocol. But it's a shot that he would be out of it. If not, it's their third string quarterback. So right now I'm putting my money on the Ravens. I guess I gotta let it sit for a little bit. I also do not like this whole Brown situation with Watson, and I want him to fail miserably. So that's another reason why I'm more willing to put up some money on the Ravens, even if it is their third string quarterback, because I want to see this man fail, because he shouldn't even be playing in the NFL. This is dumb. He shouldn't even be here.
Yeah, look, the Nick Chubb, who's obviously a great running back for the Browns, the last 6 times he's met the Ravens, he's been held to less than 100 yards. So if they can do that, even if it's with a backup quarterback, I think they're going to be okay. I just think that like it's going to be a defensive game here, and I'm kind of leaning on the under. Even if it's a low total, 37.5, this game to me feels like a 16-13 type of game. So we'll see. Not putting my money on it, though.
Never bet the under.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Pescatios.
I don't want to cut you off, sir. You have a lot to say about everything. I mean, obviously, I want to bet the Bills. Now, listen, the Bills are struggling with the covering thing. We've been talking about that. It's -7.5, though. I mean, listen, I would strongly suggest buying a half a point down. That's an easy, that makes your life a lot easier. The weather as of now, as I mentioned before, lake effect snow, 7 inches, but nothing where it's going to change the location of field. People could get out of their homes. They could travel. Buffalo knows how to do it. And inches of snow. It's when you get to like 5 or 6 feet that we struggle a little bit. So this should be fine. And the Bills should just be able to kill the Dolphins in this kind of weather because they're little babies when it comes to cold. I don't know. I would buy they have a point down, though, because it makes it just a little more of a comfortable situation. But we always know that I do not actually put money in the Bills. I don't want to jinx them.
I mean, it's possible I end up betting this game, but the weather thing really sucks because if it wasn't in bad weather, just regular weather. Let's say it was in Buffalo at 30 degrees but sunny.
Yeah, no.
The under over would be like 50.
Yeah.
And it's 42, and I mean, like you're sitting there going, if it's 7 inches of snow, they got to wipe the shit off. It's like a pain in the ass. The Dolphins are probably not going to be able to use that speed that they have to really. So the Bills have somewhat of an advantage of like when I think about this game, I think about Josh Allen. Like on 3rd and 5, just running over somebody and getting first downs.
It's going to be like a kind of a boring game in one sense. I mean, it's Bills versus Dolphins, which makes it exciting on its own. But it's going to be similar to the Jets versus the Bills, where it was just shitty weather does not allow for a lot of play. And you're right. You're going to see a lot of Josh Allen hurdles going on. And also, I don't know. Somebody said, some sources were saying that like Tyreek might not play because he's hurt, but we haven't really seen anything official about it. So something happened last week where he's not feeling the greatest. And again, if you can't play in 50-degree weather and win, you're definitely not going to be able to win in 35-degree weather with lake effect snow coming down on you. So
Dolphins have struggled to score points. They're another interesting fact. Josh Allen. So he needs 4 more passing touchdowns in a season. So they have a couple more games left. He would be the first person ever to have 3 seasons of 30-plus touchdowns passing and 5-plus touchdowns running. And he's still early on in his career, so pretty awesome. Let's see if he gets it done. I don't think he's going to get 4 touchdowns in the snow this weekend, but...
he'll get some rushing touchdowns
right.
in the snow,
but
probably.
I think this game is a 20-10 Bills game. That's what I think it is.
I like where your head's
It
at.
hits the under, and it also...
Squish the
Bills.
frozen fish.
Frozen fish. You didn't fry them enough. They're still frozen. All right. Falcons, Saints. You like this game. I'm betting it. You like it, but you like it more than I do.
I do. I mean, okay, so Saints are at home. I'm a big fan of New Orleans being at home, and I know I've been proven wrong a little bit this year, but you go to New Orleans. Like, come on. That's a fun place to go. We've got Andy Dalton still staying in as quarterback. The Falcons, they don't have that. They've just kind of gone through. Now they have Desmond Ridder that's supposed to start. I don't even know any information on this child, so that's going to hurt them. The Saints, they haven't scored a whole lot in the last 5 games, but again, the Falcons don't have a good record either with scoring and doing well. So I'm going Saints -4 too. It's not, we're not looking at, a huge spread. So I'm taking the Saints. I wish I had better information as to why, but
beat them by a touchdown. I mean, look, I just against a rookie here. Desmond Ridder, unproven guy. First rookie to be starting for the Falcons since Matt Ryan did in 2008. But I just feel like when teams are struggling like this, both of these teams I think have a shot still at the playoffs, which is absurd. Well, 5-8 and 4-9. Come on.
It's a little different than our little division over here.
Yeah, but
we're all crushing it.
Bet against the rookie at QB. Go with the flaming redhead Andy Dalton. Is that what they call him? I don't know, but
I think you called him that. I don't know if everybody else does.
I'm not sure.
I love you, Andy Dalton. You got us into the playoffs one time. We sent you wings and donated to charity. Yeah.
All right, Lions at the Jets.
It still counts.
Guys, this is the Jets need this one. I mean, the Lions need this one. But let's be honest. The next 4 games that we have, the Jets are going to, and their opponents are both going to need the win in order to have a playoff shot here. We started the season 7-6, and now we started the season 5-2. Now we're 7-6, so been doing pretty shitty. Playing some tough teams though. Against the Lions here, and you're in New York, it's going to be
New Jersey.
Yeah, in New Jersey, playing at MetLife Stadium. It's going to be a little cold, and you just got to figure that's going to have an advantage for the Jets more so than it does, given the fact that they just went out to the Bills and played them really tight in a fucking snow game. Now it's going to be in a much better weather situation, and then you're going to have the Lions coming out to us. It's a pick 'em, right? Who's going to win it? We don't know. The Lions have been hot. They've scored 25 points plus the last 5 games, which is the first time they've done that since 1954. But I don't care. Oh, Goff is hot, this and that. Robert Saleh used to be a Lions fan growing up because you grew up over there.
Still is.
Still is. Still got his gear. He says all his high school buddies are Lions fans. But you know what? We're on the Jets this week. Christine's not even putting her opinion on this.
Oh, no. You're not going to hear from me.
Yeah.
It should be a really good game to watch, though. I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah. Mike White's on pace to start. They are using Zach Wilson as a backup this week. Anybody who watched the game last week, they used Joe Flacco. He comes in for a series or 2, fumbles the ball. So we don't need that shit.
The Bills really didn't have anything to do with that either. I mean, yes.
They sacked the shit out of him. But
right.
He's just a statue, just sitting back there.
He didn't even try, is my point.
Somebody pressed pause in Madden only on Flacco.
It's one of those easy, okay, he's just saying this, so I'm just going to run into him. Am I going to get in trouble for this? I feel like I might.
Yeah, not on Flacco.
No.
All right, next one.
Oh, okay. So this one, well, first of all, the damn Chiefs could not cover. The first time I put my damn money on the Chiefs, those jerks couldn't even cover. You screw them. But also, our thinking here, and the reason why we're both putting actual physical cash on this game.
I'm going to do it electronically. I don't know what you meant by physical cash.
I'm going to go to one of the bookies across the street and hand them money, and I'm going to want one of those little tickets that you get to hold with you, and then you possibly lose, in the wash, and then it all goes away.
No fire.
Yeah. That's what I'm going to do because you're giving the Texans 14 points. Okay? So I'm not saying the Texans are going to win against the Chiefs. No one will ever say that. The Texans are terrible. But the Texans, if you could cover this by 14, get that 14 anywhere in there, I'm a happy camper, and I think it's possible. And the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes threw 3 interceptions last game. So maybe he's not going to do so well. So let's go Texans. I say they'll definitely cover that plus 14 spread. Now, if it was plus 10, plus 7.5, I don't know where I'd be. Probably not on the Texans, but let's give it a shot.
13.5, I probably wouldn't do it. But the Texans almost beat the Cowboys last week, and they're at home again. So let's see if they got a little magic going. Maybe they're finding their groove. Look, if the Chiefs win, they clinch their division. If they do that this year, it'll be the 7th straight season, which is obviously the longest active streak for clinching a division in the NFL right now. So
Texans, listen, if you could beat the Chiefs, we'd all be so grateful. But I'm a realist in this situation.
No, yeah, just lose by 10.
Just lose by 10, or just beat them because that would be sick.
Oh man, then you'd be saying why didn't do money line plus 625?
No. I would like you to beat, but
let's not get crazy.
I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm not throwing money away.
Okay, next up, Eagles at Chicago Bears. The Bears.
Yeah, I can't keep putting my money on the Eagles because at some point I want them to start losing.
Like, I mean, I don't know why. Who cares? You know, I'd rather a team be real super hot and then start fading in the playoffs and then play you in the Super Bowl because that's the next time you would see them.
That's a good point.
Look, I'm not saying that this is bad on the Bears. The Eagles are strong. Their offensive line is one of the best in the league, and it shows week in and week out, putting up major points.
Yes.
I know it's 9-point spread. That sounds bad. Chicago's defense is not good. I mean, the Jets put up 30 on them. The Eagles are rolling. They put up 48 against the Giants last week. I mean, they're putting up a lot of points. I honestly think that, this game, the under-over is 48.5, and you're thinking over.
I think the over because I know the Bears are going to give it their all. They're off of a bye,
That's true.
Justin
I
Fields
forgot about that.
leads quarterbacks with 905 rushing yards. So it is a high, it's going to be a back and forth game. I don't think it's going to be like Eagles versus Giants kind of game. Which was shocking. I didn't think the Eagles would demolish the Giants in that way. I don't think, Giants fans expected that to happen either. So hopefully this time, you'll get your wish and it'll be -9. I'm just staying away from it because I have so many other bets. But if I needed to make some money, I would go with the over on that.
Probably, to me, it's like a 35-17 type of thing where, like, the Chicago will score a few points, but at the end of the day, like, the Eagles are going to still crush and put up a lot of points. So that is what it is. Steelers Panthers, 5-8 versus 5-8.
Woo, boring.
But the Panthers have had a little bit of, with Sam Darnold, they look a little bit better than they did previously. A little bit better.
It's not worth putting your money on people, to be honest. Yeah. Just don't even bother watching it.
We don't even know who's playing quarterback for the Steelers. Yeah. Pickett's and what?
Pickett, the Trubisky no longer even exists there for whatever reason. I
think he might. It's either him or Mason Rudolph.
But they're saying if Pickett doesn't play, they want to look at Mason Rudolph and not Trubisky. So I don't know what happened to my little Trubisky, and I feel bad. But again, unless you are sitting in Pittsburgh and have to watch the Steelers game, I would suggest putting your money on the Panthers. If not, don't bother. Just ignore this one. It's going to be a dud.
Yep. If the Steelers lose, it'll be the first losing record since 2003 for the Steelers. So it's pretty wild.
All right, here's another one that we struggle with. Again, this comes about because we had strong convictions on so many other games this week that we had to bring it back a little bit. But if we find ourselves, very high in some extra cash, you got the Cowboys versus the Jaguars. I'll probably be making the bet because I will be up because I make better decisions than this one does.
No way.
Way. So I'm going Cowboys to cover the Jaguars. But, again, this is a tricky one. Both teams, who are you going to get? Are you going to get the good Cowboys or the shit Cowboys? Are you going to get the good Jaguars or the shit Jaguars? You can't tell. Jaguars are at home. I get that. But the Cowboys are kind of like feeling themselves a little bit the last couple of games, which is good. So they might come in, with a little determination that the Jaguars can't reel in.
I don't know. I mean, the Cowboys, though, just
opposite.
Well, they just lost. They almost lost against the Texans. You can't feel great about almost beating, barely beating a 1-11 team. So, and then you're going and looking at the Jags, just go strong and get a big win against the Titans and put up 30-something points. I feel like the Cowboys are not going to overlook this game because they're probably a little bit scared that if Jacksonville runs hot, they're going to, But
that's the question. Who's going to be the shitty team this weekend and who's going to be putting out there? Or are they going to both be shit? Or are they both going to be good? Who knows? So that's why it's like one that's really hard to put your money on off the bat because you don't know who you're getting on either side.
Yep, I agree. Arizona Cardinals versus the Denver Broncos.
Ugh, I hate this, but yes. I'm taking the Broncos. I feel like this is free money. I hate the Broncos. I hate Russell Wilson, but the Cardinals are just such garbage. Like right now, they're just in pain. They've lost everybody. We talked about this earlier. Kyler Murray is out. The others half of their team got beat up against the Patriots, who aren't even that great. Just one hit after another, people going down. and their team is in disarray. Nobody seems to like being there. The Broncos, nobody seems to like their quarterback, but they like each other. So I think there's a good shot that they'll cover this 2.5 spread at home. And I feel like it's just like, hey, you want to make a few extra bucks doing nothing? Put your money in the Broncos. So I'm going with the Broncos.
Yeah, look, they against the Chiefs last week, a couple turnovers, whatever, and all of a sudden Russell Wilson and them start getting it rolling. They put up 28 points, and it was like, oh, you guys can score points because we haven't seen it in so freaking long. Yeah. So if they can channel some of that again, that should be a Broncos win against this. They're at home and against a shitty Cardinals team. But it's interesting, Russell Wilson. This is second season in a row now, losing record, and he hadn't had one at all in his whole career before the last 2 seasons. So maybe on the decline there, but get a W against the Cardinals because you really should
for the season.
And if you do it, you'll eliminate the Cardinals to having a statistical shot at the playoffs, and they'll be done.
We can move on from them. Thanks.
Uh-oh.
This is my lock of the week.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so this is the game of the century. You've got the crappy Patriots versus the crappy Raiders. The Raiders, I'm saying this is my lock of the week for 2 reasons. One, I hate the Patriots, so keep that in mind. This is partially emotional lock of the week. Also, live in Vegas. We try our hardest to root for the Raiders. They're not an issue for us this season, so why not? Let's go. But you do have McDaniels, who used to work for Belichick, which Josh, mentioned, like, is Belichick going to kind of like be able to play chess with him on the field because he's the one that taught him? I think, though, Belichick's other coaches, his assistant coaches, are just such garbage. Yeah. And as we talked about earlier, Mac Jones is miserable. They're calling shitty plays and they're not happy. Raiders are at home. They're getting a point. That helps. And Jacobs and Adams together as a duo on a team, they account for more than half of the yards from the scrimmage and any other team this season, which is, even more than anybody on the Bills can say. So that's pretty strong. And the Raiders are in a good position where they have to fight right now. I mean, the Patriots too, but I'm going Raiders. F the Pats. Let's go Raiders. And I think it's going to be my lock of the week.
I like it. Yeah, I'm on the same boat. I mean, the Raiders are the best team with a 5-8 record,
yes.
Right? I mean, they're just losing in the fourth quarter to a bunch of different teams. So they're going to hang. Get that dub. Help me out too, because I need to for the Jets have a shot here. I need that Patriots to get knocked out of the playoff run here. So
F the Pats.
F the Pats.
Let's go Raiders.
All right. Next up, this is my lock of the week. Lock of the week. LA Chargers, going with them again. We're going against the Tennessee Titans. It's a 3-point spread only. Tennessee's going flying across the country. Chargers came up with a big win against the Dolphins. I think they look really good, and they were able to hold that fast Dolphins offense to, a minimal amount of yards, a few points. And the Titans are coming off a bad loss against the Jaguars. It's a little bit of what have you done for me lately? But look, Derrick Henry's still there. We know that. I think it's like he's going to join 3 running backs ever to have like more than 50% of their team's touches and 40% of their team's yards from scrimmage. But look, I think that Justin Herbert can make all the throws. I think it's like there's some statistic that says how many yards is your receiver open when you throw the ball. And if the receiver has like a distance of 2 to 3 yards open, Justin Herbert has like the by far biggest passer rating, meaning that like if people are open, he's going to hit you 100. Like he hits you like 90-something% of the time. Like he's that good. Austin Eckler out of the backfield. This guy's got 600 yards receiving, 600 yards rushing. Only player in the league right now to have both of those. So I think this one at home, the Chargers -3, and it doesn't hurt. There's no vig. Right? So right. It's even. So if you bet 100, you win 100 on this one. I'll be betting more because the Chargers are my lock of the week. F you, Vrabel. F you, Henry. and let's go. And Ryan Tannehill, you're a non-issue, and you never were an issue. So.
All right, then.
What do you agree? Or, I mean, you're leaning that way?
I'm leaning that way, and I would put my money on it. I'm just afraid that I have way too many bets going. It's going to be hard to focus on all this stuff. But
Guys, can't bet every game, but we almost want to this week. We have a lot of them that we like.
I might throw a few bucks at it later, so yes.
Watch out.
Like a trout.
Bengals at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Your bees are so loud.
Bengals, Bucks, Burrow. Bengals, Bucks, Brady.
Two big lions.
2 big lions. Shout out to Junior, his birthday.
Happy
we see
birthday.
You. Happy birthday.
Woo.
I think he's, 31? I'm not sure. Something
We
like
can't
that.
even tell. They're all younger than us. And
Yeah,
that's
it's
all
probably
that matters.
40, but I don't know.
No. Anyway, so Bengals versus Bucks. Okay, Tom Brady can suck it. So
Whoa.
there's that. We've already said this the last time. Never bet against Tom Brady. I'm betting against Tom Brady. Josh is also because he sucks. He doesn't look out for covering. He just looks out for himself. And I definitely think the Bengals are the better team in this situation. We know that. I mean, look at the 9-4 versus 6-7. I mean, and really, Tom Brady is just falling apart. You know,
Yeah.
he managed to pull out a win at the last minute. Monday when we were out.
Oh, yeah, the comeback win on the Monday night, and he gets him down. They win 17-16. Whoa,
Right.
you had
Garbage. That's it. So
Come on.
let's go Bengals -3.5 all day. If I could have a second lock, it would be the Bengals.
Wow. Yeah, look, but the Bucs are not getting it done on offense. And 9 straight games with 22 points or less. That's the longest period of time that they've had that little amount of points in Tom Brady's career. The Burrow's hot right now. I mean, they started out like wishy-washy, right? I forget what the record was. Maybe it was 5-4 or something.
He had to get back into the groove, I guess, whatever it was. But he's there. He's found it.
Got it.
And listen, I feel like, I'll come across this path as a Bills fan eventually.
Yeah, you're just hoping you play in Buffalo.
Uh-huh.
That's what
But right now, at least give me my money.
Yep.
Go Bengals.
Next up.
So I'm taking the Commanders against the Giants. Now listen, I was a big Giants fan. I was winning lots of money in the Giants, but I think Giants fans can attest to this. They're falling apart a little bit. They're not the same Giants that they were at the beginning of the season. And I don't know and I mentioned this before, if my lovely Dable is just playing it safe. He's like, I came out crushing. I surprised everybody. Now I just don't want to lose enough where I look like crap or what it is. He was playing fun football. Now he's quieting it down. Also, the Commanders are a strong team. They are a strong team. So -4.5. They're at home. They could definitely. I think it'll be. They could have probably got -7 and was still covered.
This to me, I'm not betting it. They're both 7-5-1. The one tie is against each other. I feel like they're a pretty freaking close team. They played each other 2 weeks ago, and it was 20-20. But they're in Washington, so that's going to be helpful. It wasn't at home. I'm leaning on the over because I took the over last time. It ended up 40.5 was the under/over last time. It ended up being 40, and I lost. So I'm I want the revenge game on this one. But look, Saquon's been having a good year. He's got the most yards and touchdowns that he's had since 2018.
I mean, he's had a good year, but he hasn't had good last couple of games, and he may not even.
Well, you just can't have the Eagles score 48 on you.
Right.
So
I don't know. I'm going Commanders.
I get it. I understand. But I think it's going to be a good game. And this matters so much to both of these teams, right? They both need this freaking thing to get into the playoffs. So it should be a good one. I want to watch this one. We'll be in New York, so I'm sure there'll be some Giants fans around while Christine's rooting for the Commanders. So I'm going to have to tell some a-hole, to go F himself because, we're trying to win that money.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll keep it to myself. Don't worry.
Okay.
It'll be quiet. Lose.
All right. So that was the Sunday night game. Next up is the Monday night game. Rams at the Packers. And I know when the scheduling people looked at this one, they were like, this is going to be a good game.
Yeah,
it's going to be a good game. Yeah, no. It is not. 4-9 versus 5-8. Terrible.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I'd like to put my money on the Rams, but again, so many bets happening on Sunday, Thursday, and Sunday. Oh, and Saturday because the
Thursday.
NFL screwed me over and moved games to Saturday.
Thursday,
But
Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Yeah, so this Monday game we're waiting on. I'm going to be waiting on until I see how all those other 3 days go because I don't really care too much about these teams. But I'm going to say the Rams over the Packers. Now, listen, he's got better reasons why the Packers may cover. I really have no faith in Rodgers. I know he's at home. The weather's going to suck. But, I mean, we saw what Baker Mayfield did this last game. He could pull out some surprises. I mean, he wasn't always in LA. He's been in shit
Cleveland.
weather.
He was at Cleveland for a while with shitty weather.
I mean, now it's not Wisconsin shit weather, but it's pretty damn close. It's close to what Buffalo goes through. So it's not like this is going to be a shocker to him. They get 7 points. But Aaron Rodgers is going to be playing because they think that they have like a little itty bitty shot still to the playoffs, and he's going to keep playing until they're no longer in the playoffs. So I still, again, I'm not putting money on it yet. We'll see. I'm eking towards the Rams. He's going for the under, which it makes sense, but I hate betting the under.
Yeah, it's interesting. The Packers are coming off a bye, which usually means you get a lot of time to prepare for the next opponent, which is true here. But right now, you didn't even know that Baker was playing, Thursday, and he comes in, so now you got to prepare for him. Look, the Rams are running the same offense that they've run. I think that this one in the cold weather, and I think it's going to be something like 25 degrees. There's a winter storm coming today, which is like Wednesday into Thursday. But it's going to be fine by the time the game goes off. It'll be a sunny day. I just think that these teams that play in this, they're in LA and there's nice weather and all that, and they go there and go, oh, 25 is fucking 25. If the Bills go out and it's sunny and it's like 25, oh, it's not bad. We're good.
Right. Yeah.
It's tough for these teams to go, and that's why it's an advantage for these northeastern or, north teams to play in the wintertime. So Aaron Rodgers is, ice in the veins, been doing it forever. He plays really well in December.
Right.
It's true, yeah.
Yes, the old Aaron Rodgers.
Right. I mean, this season, he's got the worst passer rating that he's had in his whole career.
This is the post-ayahuasca Aaron Rodgers we're talking about. Totally different.
Yeah, this is the anti-vax Rodgers, not the one that just shut his fucking mouth. So, anyway.
Okay.
Let's go into. I don't care what you think about the vaccines and stuff like that. He's just a douche.
He is a douche. That's not what we can all agree on.
Right. So, what are we actually betting?
Both have the Niners.
Both on the Niners.
Yep.
That's Thursday night, which will be tomorrow night. Same day we're releasing this one.
And again, screw you NFL for moving 3 of the greatest games to Saturday while we're flying, and we have to spend the entire day on a plane. You suck.
Which let's be honest, have a few cocktails at the airport. We might be betting every game, but right now the only game being bet on Saturday is you.
Yes.
Betting the
Ravens. I think the Ravens are gonna cover versus the Browns. Be sitting at the airport getting hammered off my face.
Yep.
But not enough where I can't pay attention to the Bills versus Dolphins game that we will hopefully be able to have as we're 50,000 feet in the air.
True.
God, let's hope, please.
Right, and you're hoping you don't get a text message that comes before when you see it.
Oh, Lord. Unless it's good.
We're both on the Saints -4 versus the Falcons. That's the early game, both on that one. Although my eyes are going to be on those Jets versus the Lions, and I'm betting them Jets because I like to do it. Won some money on them last week versus the Bills.
Yep.
20-12 was 9.5 point spread. So look, it's all about the spreads, but this one's a pick 'em. So obviously I need to win here.
We're both taking the Texans +14 versus the Chiefs because, I hate the Chiefs. I don't think he cares that much about the Chiefs either. And we think the Texans can cover the spread for sure. So let's go Texans.
And it'll be great to do it. And then, look, I'm on the Eagles versus the Bears. Eagles -9. I just think that the Eagles' offense and their offensive line are too much. They run on you, and then it opens up the pass, and then they throw it deep to guys. And at the end of the day, they're going to score too many points. So 9 points seems like a big spread if they weren't going to score 40 themselves, and that's what they're going to do.
Broncos is me, -2.5. We went through this. I hate Russell Wilson, but the Cardinals are just falling apart, and I think this is like the gods saying, do you want free money? Here you go, bet on the Broncos. So I'm going to do that. I will take my free money. Broncos -2.5. My lock of the week are the Raiders against the Patriots because, again, fuck the Pats. And the Raiders can pull this one off. They're at home. They get a point, though they have to win. We don't want the Patriots to be involved in this anymore. Let's go Raiders. That's my lock of the week.
Yeah, let's have McDaniels call a good game for once and not be a underscore P word. All right. Next up, my lock of the week. Chargers -3 versus the Titans. Chargers are going to be too much. They're rolling right now. They're at home. Titans have to go fly across the country, coming off a big loss to the Jaguars. Chargers just ripped up on the Dolphins, and they're going to keep it rolling. Watch out for Justin Herbert. Watch out for Austin Eckler. These guys are coming at you. And sorry, Derrick Henry, your 100 yards rushing are not enough because you have Tannehill back there as your quarterback and no A.J. Brown anymore, no one to throw too deep. You could do play-action pass all you want with one read, but Tannehill's only going to throw for about 150. My lock of the week.
You get all the extra sound effects for yourself. Okay, jerk. He likes his lock of the week better, but guess who's got a better record? I do. And I mean, and bets, not Bills, even though I have a Bills shirt on. Bengals versus the Bucks. We already explained to you guys how we feel about the Bucks and Tom Brady, and the Bengals are just a better team, -3.5. That's later in Sunday game. Go make some money.
Yep, I agree.
Make some money. And then my last one, the last one for me, is the Commanders against the Giants. Sorry, Giants fans. I know, but after what we watched the last 2 weeks, I got to go Commanders. And Commanders have always come through for me. -4.5. I'm going with it. Let's go Commanders.
All right. Well, that's it for now. Look, as much as we gave 8 bets apiece that we're going to make this week, I'll be honest with you, I probably think it's going to be 12 each. We're going to go back to New York. We're going to be watching them games. We're going to be out and about doing those things. And also at the airport watching Saturday games. And then there's the Monday and all this other stuff. So my guess is we're going to bet everything. So this week is either going to be a really good week or a really bad week. And we'll be checking in with you midweek next week.
Ugh.
Yep, that's what we're going to be doing. So from Vegas for the last time this calendar year,
yes,
we bid you adieu. Adieu.
You gonna do the little button thing or what?
Yeah. And bye, everybody. See you soon.
He had 10 more things to say.
See you soon. Bye.
Couple of bettors.
I want to make money.
Couple of bettors.